Hello, I'm Dr. Harold Wong, and today I want to cover the fourth of my series of articles. This one happened to be published February 14th, 2012 in the Arizona Republic. The last three articles have been a series that covered protecting your money from bad financial planners, psychological susceptibility scams, and one's own emotions driven by fear and greed. This article is going to cover three major factors that can affect your financial future and can create great losses, particularly for seniors and baby boomers. The first is inflation. Most financial plans do not really adequately prepare for the cost of inflation, and basically your dollar doesn't buy as much in the future as it does today. Let's give you some numbers. If someone hoped for a $50,000 annual retirement income and we had 4% inflation, you would need $74,012 a year in 10 years or $100,000 in 18 years to be able to buy what $50,000 buys today. Now, it's hard enough to prepare and save and create a retirement plan where you have $50,000 a year, let alone for $100,000 a year. The next thing that can affect your future is low interest rates. Well, we know how low interest rates are. Over the last 2-3 years, the average that a 10-year Treasury bond pays is 2%. Today, it's as low as 1.4%. And a one-year CD, if you go to bankrate.com over the year of 2011-2012, typically averages 0.2%. 1/5 of 1%, meaning if you deposited $100,000 in a one-year CD, they give you $200 back. And on a 5-year CD, which is traditionally the longest term CD there is, you get 1% interest. So again, deposit $100,000 and a year later you get $1,000 back. Or they all say, if you want to avoid the early withdrawal penalty and you need the income, they'll give it to you monthly. They'll give you that $83 a month of income. Don't blow it all in one place. So what would be a solution for that? Well, you could use a private pension concept. A private pension concept is where you fund your own pension instead of the government or your employer. And what type of cash flow can you get? It's a lot higher than you get from the banks. Most bonds are certainly dividends, because the average dividend yield in the stock market over the last 2 years has only been about 2%. So let me give you the numbers. If a 60-year-old deposited $100,000 in a private pension fund, a year later he'd be able to get about $5,000 a year of income. So that's a 5% rate of cash flow. That's not bad. It's 5 times what a 5-year CD at the bank is paying, and 3 times what a 10-year Treasury bond is paying. If you waited till 65, you'd get about $7,600. That's not bad. That's a 7.6% rate of cash flow. If you waited 10 years to age 70, he'd get maybe $10,000 to $12,000. That's a 10 to 12% rate of cash flow. Again, that's pretty darn good. If you waited till 75, he might get as much as a $17,000 to $20,000 a year income guaranteed for the rest of his life. That would make a big dent toward adding up enough income to cover not just your living expenses, but your fund money. A third danger that can affect your future retirement is medical care and long-term care. Here's the facts. Americans just don't want to pay for traditional long-term care insurance. According to AARP and other sources, only 6% of those aged 65 or above have an individual long-term care policy. Now, some of you who work may have a group long-term care policy, but it expires the moment you quit work or retire, and if you want to take it over, you got to pay the premiums. Americans just aren't willing to do that for whatever reason. And yet the statistics show that in a married couple, there's a 50-50 chance that at least one of you will need long-term care at some point. Now, in terms of nursing home, the average stay is 3 to 4 years, and we know, depending on the level of care, it can be $50,000, $60,000, even $80,000 a year. So 4 years at $75,000 a year, that $300,000 can devastate most middle-income families. So what might be a solution? There are some interesting concepts that do not revolve around traditional long-term care insurance. The reason people resist long-term care insurance is one, they can't qualify medically. Two, they say, I don't want to pay $5,000 or $7,000 a year for 20 years, and if I don't need it, I lost it. Well, here's a different concept. You can deposit a lump sum such as $100,000, and if you need long-term care, it can pay as much as $250,000 to $300,000. If you don't need long-term care, it becomes a life insurance policy, and you can get maybe $150,000 back tax-free to your heirs, whether it be your spouse or your kids. And at any point, they give you liquidity. At any point, if you don't like the concept, you can at least get your $100,000 back, and sometimes with a little interest earned. So this is an interesting solution that will overcome the typical reluctance people have to buy a traditional long-term care insurance policy. Well, that's all for today. If you want to find out more, go to my blog site, drwonginvestorguide.com.